had the halacha class a few weeks ago where you discussed the customs and the laws about how to actually deal with the text. Acknowledge, I thank you for living in Anil Kanecha.
I know, I was never, I don't have to read it. No vowels. No, I.
Michael, should read it?
Yeah,
you try. No, I think you try. Try.
Okay.
You can do it.
Moder ani lefanecha melachai v'chayel shehekizarta bi nishmasi v'ham.
2 more words.
What?
Rava.
Yeah, Rava and Munasacha.
Ah, see him.
Thanks, Eddie.
Oh, I thank you, living and enduring King, for you have graciously returned my soul within me. Great is your faithfulness.
See him.
Wants to try the Yiddish.
Oh, I actually
Teach us in Yiddish.
Ich gebe Dank zu Feier dem Ewigsten, was lebt ewig. Zurückgegeben zu mir meine Schama. Mit Nachmanis. Du hast Asach ist dein Emunah.
Hey, see him.
Let's do some meditations. As is what to talk about. That's what to think about. Okay, so the first thing is it's Moida Ani Lefanecha. You're sort of the first thing you're thinking about in the statement is I am acknowledging before you. It's actually a statement that life doesn't revolve around me. I'm here to serve Hashem. You're making that statement to yourself that I'm here to serve the one above. It's not about what I want. It's about what Hashem wants. This is already again this first reflection is that is in those first few words. 3 words. Moide ani lefanecha. I, and you put the ani second. Right? You put the word ani. You don't say ani moide. It's not about me. You're trying to, your identity is. I just want to submit myself. Submit to Hashem. You say Sheikh Zarta. Yeah, the Medrash points out, all the commentators point out, it's like in this week's parasha, we talk about Shomer, right? You get the collateral, the whole Sikha about is actually about this Moida'ani and this concept and the chassidus of the Shomer. But the general idea, usually imagine you give somebody, as you give someone your with this old guitar, you give it to somebody to take care of it. And when he gives it back to you, he cleaned it up and he tuned it and he made it nice. Like, wow, he didn't have to do that. Even if he just gives it back to you, that's already done. You give someone something, they give it back to you, nothing happened to it. But if you even you've tuned it up and you make it nice, right? So Hashem doesn't only just give us back that neshama. Back. But it gives it a rejuvenated and refreshed, right? Even if we're just back alive, we would have to say thank you. It's like a bonus. You want to reflect on that as well, to have more gratitude. That to show you go to sleep, you're knocked out, you're exhausted, you're drained, you're tired, you're physically weak, you're intellectually, you don't have strength to think things through, and you're low energy, and then you wake up refreshed. Hopefully, sleep properly, and you could feel rejuvenated and inspired. Sometimes you go to sleep in a bad mood, and you wake up in a much better place. It's also discussed in Chassidus. There's a certain inspiration that comes along with the wake up every morning, but it's going to fade very fast unless you take it and run. It's like a football. You have to catch it and take it and run. If you ignore it, it's like a football flying towards you. But it says that every morning you have a chance to have a special boost, inspiration, and motivation. You're always like in a little better mood.
And by doing modani, that's
If you
like,
waste so now you think about that, and then decide you feel it. Can catch it.
Can you get it later? Can you like go back to sleep and then get it later?
No, it's in the morning. It's a morning thing. But you could generate your own inspiration in general. There's a concept. You could learn certain things that inspire you, or listen to certain things. Sometimes people they save certain clips that they find very inspiring and motivating. You could generate inspiration or whatever works, but there's a certain natural like Hashem that it gives us in the morning that comes along with your refreshed soul. You'll have a certain like positive and optimism and so on.
Rabbi, like how you said that, like catching it is like by you doing modani, it's like you catching that football, and then it helps you run into
thinking about that concept when you say Modani. I was including it in the refresh, that he gives you back. You could be all uninspired and pessimistic. You can wake up and you can find yourself strangely optimistic, surprisingly, because you're in a better mood, you're in a better place, and that's part of the refresh. Hashem gives you back, and he tunes it, and he cleans it, and he refreshes it. He gives you back even better than what you gave back. And the Shema, when he returns it, it's in a better place. Join us, Ezzy. Join us.
Really?
What? Yeah, you're invited.
You really are inviting
The
me?
great
Wow.
next meditation, another reflection. The great, unfathomable, infinite Creator chooses to care about me. This is also what you want to think about right away. The first thing is that there's an infinite God who's totally beyond, infinite in every way, beyond anything, and and for sure beyond, way beyond anything that exists in our universe. He created it all, and it's nothing to him. And I'm just a speck in the universe. And he's infinite in time and for existence, and we're like so puny and mortal, right, and fragile, and yet he chooses to have to have a relationship with me personally. That's the Moide Ani Lefanecha to Hashem. It's something you want to think about first thing in the morning. You could appreciate your value to Hashem from Hashem's perspective, which is infinite. And it can also make a big difference in your choices and your schedule and your priorities and your whole day. Next thing is the Shechzai to be. One of the words we say, Shechzai to be. Nishmasi, you've given us a soul. Return our soul to me.
Return my
It's
soul.
a good time to remind ourselves that our soul is very special. We have a faculty, a part of us that's a chelik lekami ma'amash. Remind yourself those words, that it's literally a part of Hashem. Guys, at least once a day, stop and think about it. My Da'ani is a great time. That you actually have a part of you is pure godliness. And there's no parts by Hashem. If you have a part, you have.
But Rabbi,
everything.
how do you do that? Like the moment you wake up, you're all fuzzy. You don't know. You wake up, you're dazed.
In the beginning, you might want to write notes and actually try to work on one at a time. No, it's a very good question. It's very, very realistic. You have you have to train yourself. You have to practice, and you might not remember all the things, but start with one or two of them, and actually do it when you wake up.
I don't find myself fuzzy or dazed.
Depends
No,
on
like
what
the
you
moment
slept.
you wake up, you're not like.
Depends on what you slept and how you go to sleep.
True.
And what you plan.
What you
actually
did the previous
plan
day.
to wake up properly. It can make a difference, and what you think about right before you go to sleep is a very sensitive time. But this is also something to reflect on. What does it mean you have a godly soul? How do you even define that? So,
It's mine though, I own it.
okay,
Say
what
Nishma
is it? I'll try to make it a little practical. One of the ways I heard to explain it is, you have an eye, you could process vision, visual stimuli, right? You have ears, you could process sound, audio. You have nerves, fingers, you could touch things and get, right? You have taste buds, you could taste. What am I missing? The nose could smell, right? Then you have another thing called
And you can touch your
neshama.
pillow and go back to
A
sleep.
neshama could experience Hashem, the true reality of existence. It's, for lack of a better word, I'm saying experience. You don't taste Hashem. You don't feel it.
So non-Jews
You don't
can't
feel
do
it
that?
physically. Hashem is your neshama, just could know, experience.
I'm saying non-Jews can't do that though?
Not the way now an Abishal kiss is different. That's not a neshama. It's a life force. That's what enters by a comment. Okay. The last thing is I want to translate. Hashem believes in me is another translation of the last two words. This is very special. Rabba emunah secha. What does that mean? Usually we say, great is your faithfulness. Why? It means we're saying, you thank Hashem every day. He gives us, he's like reliable, consistent. You go to sleep and you're pretty sure you're going to wake up the next morning usually, hopefully, right? Why? Because Hashem keeps doing it consistently. So he's a very reliable, he's very...
Not like this projector.
Yeah, this is a little
It's not
blinky.
reliable. It's not Averster at all.
Yeah.
Okay. It's reminding us how unreliable things can be. So, that's one translation, but this is a deeper one. You could also read it, great is your faith. Your faith.
Like in
Your
you.
faith in who? In me. How Hashem believes in me. That's another very beautiful thing to think about in the morning. You could think about how Hashem gives me the neshama, which is literally a part of Him. Do I always take the best care of it? I sometimes do things that are detrimental and painful. They cause suffering and pain and they're dirty.
Like learning Chassidus during Gemara?
I do that. What?
Like learning Chassidus during Gemara?
Worse than that. Sometimes people do worse things than that.
Dang.
Like saying something mean, or talking during a class.
Yeah.
Or being a sorcerer?
What? Okay, what?
Or being a sorcerer?
A sorcerer? Yeah, that could be bad.
As you do black magic? You do black magic?
No, but we talked about it in Chumash.
You do Schwarzer magic.
Yeah, I'm the king of the sorcerers.
I think Shlomo, one of the first days we did some magic by one of the classes.
Oh, you
Remember
did. You did a
sorcerer?
card trick. I'll never forget that. That was a good trick.
Okay.
That was a good trick.
Still doing. Okay.
You
So you
teach
understand
me
the
that.
last point? How you could translate Rabba emunah secha. Not just that Hashem is very reliable, but you could also say, great is your faith in me. How much
Got it.
how Hashem believes in me is something to think about. That even though we mistreat it, Hashem says, today I believe in you. Even you could take good care of your soul and your mission and so on. And Hashem keeps believing in you. We could connect to that. Also, we would be very different. We'd feel it. Okay, let's continue.
The first point is that it's not about me.
Yeah. It's moida ani lefanecha. I'm putting myself second. I'm here for Hashem.
And my
Think
whole
about-
existence is to serve Hashem.
Let's see some more insights about moida ani. So this we discussed. How can we recite it before washing our hands? We didn't even wash our hands yet.
I just have a Hashem thing.
Oh, so that's a technical thing. It also is a deeper idea that it says that Hashem says that even if you're impure, there's a certain level of Hashem being present and close to us, regardless of the state we're in. That's another thing to think about. That Hashem is with us even when we mess up. He's close to you. He still cares about you. He's still crazy about you and loves you and wants to just get closer again. Even the Taichtum Muslim, even when you're not in a clean place. And also, it's because it's a part of us. It's really a connection between our essence and Hashem's essence. It's uncorruptible. That's why it's not a name of Hashem, and that's why it applies regardless.
It's 6:30.
Right? Even if we say it, even when we're not pure. Okay. Another point about Waida'ani. There's many mitzvahs in the Torah that have to do with the first. Who knows any? Who knows a few?
What?
The first going to Hashem. Yeah.
Oh, Truma.
Chalo,
Oh.
Truma,
What do you say? Challah?
Chalo,
Challah, Truma. The first of your dough. The first of
Your
your
firstborn.
grain. First
And
child.
your firstborn animal.
Good, good.
Tits.
All these mitzvahs.
Big crack, I heard that.
right? Let's take Truma, for example.
Tithe.
Truma's a good example. Truma's a very good example. What's Truma? You can have 1,000,000 bundles of grain. Imagine 1,000,000 bundles of grain. If you eat any of that grain, it's mamish, your soul gets cut off. It's like spiritual excommunication and very, very serious punishment.
You get cars?
Yeah, if for Truma not being given. It's terrible. If you take, all you have to do to be able to eat the millions of bundles is take one kernel of grain. One kernel, you have millions of bundles, one kernel, you go and you give it to the kohen. And then you could eat all of it. And if you don't give that one piece,
That's a
if you don't, a kohen, you have to give it to the priest. They represent Hashem. And if not, then it's a terrible, terrible sin. Well, what's the point of that? It's like so, it's like what? It's like almost insulting. You give a
only
priest,
one kernel.
all you have to do is give him one kernel for all that belongs to you. You have in mind for everything. You're giving this truma, and then that kernel has to be eaten in a holy state. You cannot let it come in contact with any source of impurity. That the washing of it, he has to wash his hands before to make sure he's impure. That has to be kept pure. He has to be kept pure. To eat it like the first Mishnah of Brachas talks
Can you give
about.
him more than one kernel?
Wait, I'll get to that in a second. But that's the kind. The question is, what's the point of such a strange mitzvah? It's like insulting. Well, what's the point? The answer is, it's a reminder. It's a statement thing. It's not, I am not, all this success and achievement is really Hashem's credit. And I really, everything belongs to Him and the credit belongs to Him. And all you need is one kernel that you're holding back for Hashem. Hashem said, till you give it to my representative, then you cannot have it. That reminds you that really Hashem is in charge of your life and of your success and of your progress, and therefore you'll do everything differently. That gives a message, you understand? The message that and we need this message all the time, because the natural world and the influence, the world keeps bombarding you with the messages, the different messages. You sure that really doing Hashem's will is the best way to live? This looks like you're missing out on, you're going to lose out on a lot of things. I don't know, different challenges that go along with that. So you have to keep reminding yourself, no, Hashem's will is paramount in our lives. And that's why you have all these mitzvahs in all different times that have the same concept. Now, it happens to be with Truma, obviously once you get the point of the message, you'll give a lot more to the priests. But the minimum was any amount, there's no amount. However, the rabbis, in the time of the Second Temple, when the people on a lower spiritual level, they weren't so generous naturally, they were actually not getting the point fully, so they made it that you have to give around 2%. 2%. That's what they said should be truma. But the point, the statement is accomplished with just one, because you cannot enjoy anything unless you do what Hashem wants. That's already enough to make the point. But the rabbi says you keep it to 2%. Okay? So, just like you have it in the first of your grain and the first of your dough, and help him with a book? What is he looking for?
Yes.
What are you looking for?
Turn on the light.
Tomorrow.
Turn on the light.
Which one?
I don't have a light.
Here, I got it. Need Shabbos?